I can't be the only person on the planet that didn't know that you can just pick a piece of fruit off of a tree and eat it. I had a friend come over a few weeks ago and she was like, Carly, why do you have a bag of lemons in your fridge? And I said, oh, well, I use lemons in my cooking a lot and sometimes I put them in my sparkling water. And she was just like, no, but why do you have a bag of lemons from the store? And I said, oh, well, sometimes I cook with them and I also put them in. And she said, no, you have a lemon tree outside. And I said, okay. And she said, so why do you buy lemons? And I said, because I cook with them. And she said, Carly, you have a lemon tree. You just pick the lemons off the tree and you put them in your food or in your sparkling water. And I said, don't you have to do something to them? And she said, what do you mean? And I said, you don't have to do anything to the lemons? And she was pretty upset, which I guess I am one of the very few people. I didn't think that I was one of the very few people, but maybe I am one of the very few people that didn't know that there is nothing that you have to do to a lemon before you eat it from a tree. You can just take it off the tree. Am I the only I'm 28, for reference. Am I the only person? Say no.
So on one hand, this is hilarious. It's got several million views. It got viral. And on the other hand, some people say that maybe it's fake. I mean, not everything on the internet is gospel, and you have to take into account that people on TikTok, they try to become viral. And in order to become viral, you have to pretend that you're stupid. I mean, that's one way that it works. So we don't know if it's true or not, but what I do know is that with great concern, there are people like this. It's not as if like they don't know where fruit comes from. There are people that believe that without the magical intervention of the government, and this is especially true in the European Union, like they believe without the plethora of regulations that most of them came up within the last 50 years or so. But without this, like, human beings would die. Like, we would suffer. We would revert back to the diseases of pox and pestilence from the Middle Ages. And it's only through the wisdom and knowledge and forward thinking of the people in the government that we are allowed to have a healthy lifestyle. So unironically, there are individuals that genuinely believe that unless you do something to the fruit, unless you spray it with something, unless you plant the tree by specific EU regulations and you care about it through the wisdom and guidance of the politicians and the bureaucrats and the protocol, then the fruit is not safe to eat. Like, you can't just go outside and pick a vegetable and eat it, right? So this is like one of the issues, is the idea that all knowledge stems from the government. The government is now God, and we're its children. Like, we gotta pray to it, and we gotta make sure that it allows us, it graces us with a good life. The other issue is that people don't understand logistics whatsoever. Like for instance, I tried talking with a person, and he was like, I don't care if gas becomes more expensive. I don't care if truckers can't drive trucks because of the new EU regulations where you have to buy like the latest model of truck so that it doesn't pollute. I don't care any of that because I don't have a car. It's like, you get brain damage when talking with these individuals. And the next question goes, it's like, okay, but like, don't you eat food? It's like, yeah, like, don't you go to the supermarket? It's like, yeah, but I take public transport. That's great. You take public transport, maybe. But like, the food doesn't get there with public transport. The food doesn't sprouts at the supermarket. It's like, what do you mean? And then you say, well, the food goes there with truck. It's like, it's okay. I take my food from the farmer's market. So basically, like the farmer's market in Romania, you have like farmers and they, get into public transport in a train, I guess, and they come there with like their bags of goods and they sell it to the market. And I'm like, okay, but like, don't you understand that if the prices at the supermarket would double, that other people would go to your farmer's market and then you would have a problem? They don't understand. It's like asking them, how would you feel if you didn't have bread? Like, talking with these people about the economy is impossible. And this, I genuinely believe is the plan. And the plan, I mean, like, people who are in government, they want to maintain the population stupid. You look at social media, right? Like, what does the terms of service and the algorithms do? Well, it suppresses things that are against LGBT issues. It suppresses things that are related to abortion. It suppresses, like, many things. And then it promotes other things, right? Like, this is like open discussion. Like, the CEO of YouTube, Susan Wojcicki, when she was on, like, she actually said, like, yeah, we promote certain material, right? Like, we promote stuff and we suppress other. And they don't suppress stupidity. They don't suppress misinformation. No, like, they suppress things that inconveniences the politicians. They suppress things that inconvenience the Democrats. They promote things that help the NGOs that usually take money from the government and work hand in hand with the government. They promote things that again, like, helps activists and academics. And then they suppress things that usually benefits the public and that benefits, like, the people that are populists, as they call it. But when it comes to, like, stupidity, they don't promote things that educate people on economics. They don't promote how to start a business. They don't promote stuff like how to do your taxes. They don't promote stuff like how inflation manifests. Like, all of these things are kept under wraps. And they're not suppressed. But, like, when you promote garbage, right, and everything you see is garbage, the actual information, you have to look for it and you have to search it. So you end up with people that legitimately believe that without government, you can't accomplish anything. The thing that I genuinely believe, and this would be an interesting thought experiment, right? Like, when do kids learn to walk? I think, like, they learn to walk at around 1 year of age, right? They hit that milestone, some faster than others, some slower. But, like, at the age of 1, right, like, most kids, they learn how to walk. And they get up, they make a few steps, they fall, they hurt themselves, they cry, right? Like, that's what all kids do. I guarantee to you, if there was a government program where you had to take your toddler so that he learns how to walk, right? So you take it at that program and the government teaches it how to walk with a lot of safety guardrails and safetyism. You know, there's pillows everywhere so that when he falls on his ass, he doesn't cry. You have, like, people teaching him and all of this stuff, right? You do that for one generation. The next generation, you will have people unironically believing that without the government, kids don't know how to walk and that it would be unsafe and probably harmful and child abuse for a parent to allow their children to learn how to walk by themselves. You're looking at me as if I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm telling you how it is. Like, unironically, they can actually gaslight the population into believing that letting things by itself is harmful. And they can, you know, like, show many statistics which, like, look how many kids injured themselves. This parent wasn't paying attention when little Billy fell down the stairs, right? This is why you need the government. Little Billy needs to be taken to a facility where he learns how to walk and then gets a paper, a signed document saying that he has mastered the art of walking and whatnot. He gets a license. You do that, and in one generation, like, most people will believe that, because there are people who now believe, as you saw in this TikTok video, and I generally do think that it's real, that you can't just take a lemon from the lemon tree because the government didn't supervise how that lemon tree grew. It didn't supervise how it was taken care of. It didn't spray it with the correct pesticide. What if the tree is sick? What if the lemon is rotten? What right? And you would have experts coming in and saying, well, they would completely change the goalpost and say, well, if you have a mushroom in a forest and you take the mushroom, right, because it doesn't have the licenses, it can be dangerous. It could be, it may be, right? Weasel words. So that's the situation we're in. And it's very interesting, you know. The more you grow, you realize these things and you wonder if they were always there. Because when I was reading history books, usually the nobility, they would consider the peasantry to be dumb, uneducated masses that chant slogans that they themselves don't understand. And I'm starting to think, have things really changed that much? Like, just because we have access to internet and knowledge, have things really, really changed that much? Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.